Yeah, so here we go again. I am at the location of Film Club. Meet and start in less than half an hour, so I'm kind of tight on time, but I figured I got to do this. I got too much on my mind to not talk about. Um, First off, my torch. I usually carry the small brother of the car torch. Got left behind at yesterday's shoot. Yeah, it was yesterday. So I've written a small text to send into the group with that shoot. I'm writing again as my previous correspondence. Though reflective of my mindset appears of the nature to easily go over people's heads. My Maglite torch pictured above has left my possession during yesterday's shoot. Last seen location was the stage table after camera disassembly. Should you have moved it, information to where is much appreciated. Take a moment to reflect, to eliminate the possibility of you having done so. I will also write to Medientechnik to find out if it can be found stashed among the kit, together with an image of a Maglite, and I've still got to send that. But I am 95% certain which person moved it, and if it don't show up again, it's not nice. I don't like losing things or having things lost. I guess getting things lost. Which is, I guess, what would be the case in this, because I did not lose it. I know precisely where I last had it. Drink of the day is Irn-Bru. So I guess I just got to keep. I got to try and figure out if that person did actually move it, and if perhaps fell into their pockets. If it did, it's not worth accusing them of anything. I'll just see it as. I now know that person's character, and I don't got to worry about it. It'll be a bummer because I'll have lost my torch, and I currently am not in the economic situation to replace it, which is a real bummer. But can't change it, you know. So I guess I'll hopefully get it back. If not, I'll be glad as well, because then I'll know more about that person's character. It'll have been worth the loss in that book, though I'm not going to be able to replace it anytime too soon, which is a real bummer. I might still have a spare one of those lying around from my dad, so in that case it not even be that big a loss. I mean, hell, I abuse them for everything. I use them to open bottles, so yay, This today will be a dense session just because time is short and I got things on my mind. While driving here, literally just down this road in front of me, the last stretch, the last percent of the journey, there was a car parked in front of me, halted in front of me, indicators right. So I set my indicators left, and the moment there was no traffic and no one was to my left, I went to overtake them. It's a 30 speed limit, so of course I'm not going to go speeding. And as I was on their height, they started moving, because apparently they thought their indicator gave them the right to move without checking if they were endangering anyone else. So I had to constant honk my horn at them, because otherwise they wouldn't have seen me, apparently, because, this small car. Well, to be fair, for a car it's not small, but for what can be on the road it is small, so meh. Shortly thereafter, the next halted car that did not have an indicator, a cyclist coming the other way thanked me for not cutting them off, I guess. From which I can draw the conclusion that it's not normal for people to obey the rules of the road. Then again, sadly, that's not news. But in the end of the day, if there's a spot wide enough for one car and there's a bicycle in it, surprise, a car does not fit. Come on. Another subject, which is a big subject, I guess, that have caught my mind yet again, is the Australian former military lawyer David McBride have been sentenced for whistleblowing, which brings up the idea of if pointing out crimes is a crime, you know who's in power. It's the criminals. But yeah, kind of sad, but also kind of not surprised, just because that's the way the world go. He seemed to have taken it really well. Then again, same as former fairly well-known public whistleblowers, they were very much so aware they would likely go to prison for it or be pursued. So for them it was worth it to stand up for their principles. Same thing with, for example, Ed Snowden. And I would really want to believe, but I'm hoping I'll never get into the situation where I'll find out, surprise, that I would do such a thing too. This is a note to you, MI5, 6, BND, CIA, whoever. You may want to not employ me if you're doing shady shit. CIA is unlikely of those, but all the rest would be up for it, I betcha. At the end of the day, I have a very specialised skill set by being autistic. In the end of the day, I believe humankind owes such people a thank you. So thank you very much, Mr. McBride and Mr. Snowden and the others, Miss Manning. Hell, there's endlessly many more. Those are just the most publicised about, I guess. But all I can say is thank you from me. Sadly, I am not in the position to thank for humankind. But you didn't do it for thank you. And that's bloody honourable, You all just done it because it's bloody right. We need more people like that on Earth, I guess. Funny how that works, really. On my way here, I did go to a petrol station, top up another 20 litres into the tank, because I'm still hella broke. Oddly enough, I had actually planned on which petrol station I was going to, even though I'd never been there before, and I've decided it's just as good as any other. Maybe a bit better because it's a calm area for where it is in town. Likely to go there again. It was actually surprisingly affordable. So, well, for German standards that is. Still would have been cheaper across the border. Who'd have thunk? The title for this will likely be something like a dense one. Starting another mini-series, I guess. Within the main series, which is Solo Therapy. And dense 1, 2 dense. Dense with a 3 instead of an E, I'll figure it out, but it's just fun in naming things the Fast and Furious ways, I guess. It's sad and surprising at the same time, again and again, sitting at the side of the road as I am now, seeing how little people can drive. They might manage the technical aspects, but the obeying the rules aspects they ain't got down. I mean, just now, car turned right without checking for cyclists, another one sped along overtaking them, and a bicycle came out the side road ignoring the stop sign. So yeah, I've wondered whether I should just do like an hour of road in Berlin, anonymized of course because GDPR, but then comment on everything that's dodgy in my eyes. And I'm not a lawyer. A lawyer might be able to point out more dodgy things, but still, it's just sad. All these people got licenses, man. Just earlier, about a K&a-half away, I had a car try and overtake me in a single lane section of road where the speed limit is 20. I don't know how you can reasonably try to overtake someone in a single car wide road. Admittedly, I do drive defensively in case like that, so I drive as far on the left as I can, because otherwise they'll just get some funny ideas, and they legally aren't allowed to overtake me anyways, so you know. They aren't allowed to overtake a bicycle, hell, and they did that just before, so who knows. But in case like that, I'm kind of almost concerned, just because, yeah, okay, a 20 speed limit is hella slow. This 20 speed limit have been there for months. You are a professional motor vehicle operator. I can tell by the tiny blue sticker with numbers in the back of your car. Come on, if you can't obey the rules of doing 20 kph, don't drive there. And if you got to drive there, you got to obey the rules. How hard could it be? Yeah, I guess that's a line I've nicked from Top Gear. How hard could it be? I have precisely 3 cigarettes for my way home later. Active ones in the car. Because the car do not have any more cigarettes in it at this time. Cartons are all empty. I do have another half carton worth of cigarettes at home, and I might take 1 or 2 packets of that into the car, but realistically it won't last me till the end of the week, which then means either rolling before driving, not smoking, or spending more money on germ ones, and the last is the least of an option, so we'll see, you know. I really got to contact the government, well, the Office of Student Grant / Loan BAföG, because I'm really starting to get to the point where I need the dosh, so I guess I'll make an appointment on my schedule, on this bloody phone here, to reach out to them Tuesday, because Monday's a bank holiday, surprise. And I do not believe they work on bank holidays, because next to no one does in this country. Sweat towel coming in handy. The weather today is not actually too unpleasant. Temperature is 19 degrees centigrade, the odd drizzle and shower. Feel like about 80% cloud coverage, and some of that is rather dense cloud coverage. I actually like today's weather. I like it more than yesterday's or the day before then, you know. Funny how that worked. Before I left to come here, I did actually manage to get in some video game time. One case where I defeated an entire enemy faction, and then a person of my faction decided they could not share, so oh well, I didn't defend myself, because what's the point? If they think it's worth it for them, you know. That worked out though. I had fun playing video games for an hour, I guess. Escape from Tarkov's the game, by the way. The faction would have been Scavs. I'm quite happy I found a parking spot. I'm literally across the road from Film Club. Well, actually not literally, figuratively, because I only start just behind the back end of the car. Oh no. Almost made a big literal oopsie mistake. My cannabis is growing really well. Other side note, I guess I've started fertilising them, but very little at a time, and I don't like the liquid fertiliser, because at the end of the day it's hard to dose. So I did manage to crystallise some of the liquid fertiliser, and I'm just adding a couple of grains every now and then. Should work. I think it's about time to start repotting sometime soon. The only thing is I'll have to figure out a setup for bigger pots then, because with my current setup, I mean, I can go 1 pot size bigger, but the walls of the container I'm using, a Euronorm crate, are going to be the limiting factor rather soon. So I guess that's something I got to figure. I might actually put some of those in the thumbnail, because I did manage to take a couple of pictures yesterday. And odds are this will not be advertised friendly, but I could not care less. Which is, I guess, a nice thing to be able to say. Not because I can't use the money, but because I'm not making any money anyway, so what's the difference, you know? And even if I were making money, having this be straightforward and being able to say, oh, I'm growing cannabis, which is perfectly legal, is worth more to me than selling adverts via Google, I guess. And again, it's easier to say when you're not in the position to sell adverts, so who knows, you know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Hope the weather is pleasant where you are too. Stay safe. I'll see you around. Cheerio.